Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio, and today I'm working on the Tessellating Star quilt. It is on my quilting machine, and I wanted to show you what I am thinking about quilting into this top. Okay, I went ahead and loaded this quilt this morning, and then I've been playing around with some quilting design ideas, and I got out my Design with Lines stencil, and what I was thinking of doing was either piano keys or maybe marking this border off to quilt some stars in there. But I kind of decided against that, and decided basically because the quilt is 60 inches across, which makes a good number to divide evenly, but the length is 73¼ inches, and that being an odd number kind of throws it off. So I decided to just go with the width of my blocks to divide that border to do the design within it. So I got out some of my circle templates. This is my largest one, and just decided to do an arc in there. So I went, like, here's the center of the quilt, and I started here and worked back and then came back this direction. But you can see I decided to do a double arc. I thought that looked pretty good. And then for the space in between, I think I'm just going to do these little lines that kind of splay out, you know, just because. And you can see the thread color there. It's red. This is a YLI long arm professional thread. It's called Santa's Coat. So it's a bright cherry red. And I chose that because there's a lot of red in this quilt, and I didn't want to put black in here because black would just, it's just not going to show very well. You can see the texture, but you're not going to be able to see the thread, and I want this to be something that will actually show up. So for the centers, the squares that where I replaced a whole lot of them, I decided I needed to try out a couple of different designs. So I did this kind of a star burst look, and then here's just the simple cross X in there, and then there is the crossed canoes, and then of course there's one that don't have anything in it. So I think I'm going to go with the crossed canoes. This one I think is too plain, and this one, I don't know, it just did not grab me at the moment, so I think I'm just going to go with the crossed canoes. And then for the star points, I think I'm just going to do an outline stitch like here that I have drawn out. But this is what it looks like at the moment. I think I'm going to go with this idea here. I don't know if I'm going to put anything in here. I may put some ribbon candy or herringbone or something that'll go pretty quick in there. I just have to wait and see when I get to it. I always change my mind when I'm quilting. So anyway, this is what it looks like now. It's all on the machine, it's all ready to go, and I've got an 80/20 batting. I believe this is a Fairfield. I already threw away the packaging, but I'm pretty sure it was a Fairfield batting. So anyway, I will get some quilting done, and I will show you what that looks like. I'm going to go ahead and get started on the border of the Tessellating Star quilt. And so I've got my circle template here, and I've got a straight edge, but I don't need that here. I've already did some stitching in the ditch, and I did use the red thread, which I think looks pretty good, except for a couple places here where I bobbled out of the ditch and onto the border. So I'll have to go back and redo those two sections at some point, but I'm going to leave them for now just so I can get started on this. And I've already got my thread secured, so I'm going to start with the corner, and I'm just going to do that little firework burst or whatever that is, and just going to go up and then back down and then curl. And hopefully those will look better as I get going. Right now I think it's okay. We're going to go ahead and do an arc, and I'm going to go ahead and do these. And then do the next arc. And then the next starburst. And then I'm just going to keep going. And then when I get done with that, then I'll come back and I'll do the next row of the arc here, the lower arc down below. So this is going to take a couple passes to get through, but I'm going to go ahead and adjust the camera so that you can see a little bit of this without my arm getting in the way. I'm ready to get started again, and I'm going to do the top arc. Let's see where I need this to end, so adjust as I need to. And that is getting easier as I do it more. So that is a good thing. I'm going to have to move my light over. Okay, I've got the double arc in, so what I did is when I got to the end, I just turned around and came back. So I quilted from right to left over here, and now I'm going to come on this side and go left to right, and I'm going to do the ribbon candy in here. Now, I could just leave that and not put in the ribbon candy, just leave it out altogether, but I think I want to just go ahead and put it in just to kind of help balance things, because, well, and besides, I think it'll look kind of interesting because of the red thread that I'm using. So let's go ahead and do that. Here's a close-up of what that looks like. I'm going to go over here with a little bit better light. Move my microphone cord out of the way. Okay, here's a close-up of the double arc and the ribbon candy in there, and then the little starburst things there. And that's what that corner looks like. So I think that red thread looks pretty good in the black. I'm kind of happy with that. And that goes all the way across. And it really didn't take too long. It was just a couple of passes. I did the top arc and the little starburst in one, and then I came back and did this arc, and then went back this way again and did the ribbon candy. So 3 passes gave me that design, and I didn't have to break any thread until I was completely done. So now I'm going to work on this row here. This is an outer row, so it's going to be a little bit different than the subsequent rows, just because the background is all going to be black, but it's all going to be quilted the same way. I'm going to do the cross canoes, that you can see over here. And I drew these 2 out using 2 different circle templates. On this one, I used my smaller 6-inch template here. On this one, I used the 7-inch, the bigger one. So it gives a little bit different look. You can see those 2 side by side. The same design, just using different templates, so it looks a little bit different. So I think I'm going to use this one. I like that one a little bit better. I think it's a little more balanced, a little more equalized between the length here and the width there. That's a little bit closer than this. Those points are a lot longer than what this area is. So it just all depends on what you like. So normally I would go through and I would stabilize this quilt by stitching in the ditch around all the blocks, but I really don't want to have the red thread in between these star points because it's going to be on the star points. So the other way I could stabilize is to stitch in the ditch around the black. I'll bring a little more light over here and work on this. And so for that I need 1 straight edge, and then I need my 6-inch ruler and a circle. And this circle is 6 inches from edge to edge, so when I quilt around it to make a full circle, it'll be a 6.5-inch circle. So I just wanted to kind of explain that, because you can buy like if I wanted my finished circle to be 6 inches, I would need a 5.5-inch circle template. But what I have is a 6-inch, so we're going to do that. And I'm going to start here in a corner, and I'm going to go ahead and do the cross canoe first. And I could freehand this, but I'm going to go ahead and use my template. Now I need to get over to one of these 2 corners, so I'm going to go ahead and use my straight edge. And then do this side. Okay, so that just needed 1 stitch in the ditch to get this whole design done. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue that ditch around. I hope this isn't bouncing too much. I think I have my take-up lever up a little bit too high. On my take-up roller, and that's what's causing the bouncing. So I will lower that and show you the next one. Anyway, here we go. This red thread is causing some buzzing. So that's there, and I'll just get to my I had to get my brush out and brush that chalk away. So let's do this one next. Okay, so start in the corner. Take a couple of stitches, secure that in there, and then do my first side. And then my second. And then stitch in the ditch up to the top corner here. And you can decide how wide you want this to be, how deep into the corner you want them to go. Okay. And back to the ditch. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so that's all done. Now this is kids chalk that I have in here, so it will brush out. Okay, now that I've got this first row done, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the rest of the body of the quilt, and especially doing these stars so that I don't have as much backtracking. And I'm going to start with this green star here, and I've already secured my stitches, and I'm going to go across the lower edge of it and then work my way around. And I'm just going to go over to the edge, so the line is crossing right here, and then I'm going to do this point and go across to the edge. And then this one I have to backtrack in this ditch just a little bit. Let me get these threads out of the way. And I'm going to do this one. Okay, I'm going to go right to the edge. So the star points are all done there. And then I can come in and do the center. And then come and do the next star. So that's my plan, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm going to stitch in the ditch to get down to the black square, and then I'm going to do the quilting in that. Okay, since I want to be ending in the center, I'm going to go ahead and stitch in the ditch to get up to the center of this one. And then do the quilting in this star point. And come all the way across and then come down to the next black square. So that'll give you an idea of how I'm going to get around this. Now I I did stitch in this, didn't have to break thread, so I can get around this without, I can get through the row without breaking thread. But instead of doing just one block, which is this section here, I'm doing the star points and the block that is to the bottom of those. So that will get me through row to row, and hopefully I'll have a good result that way. Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links. And to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.